All right, good afternoon, good afternoon. Greetings, everybody. Haki Ami here, the Success Scholar. Thank you for tuning in to a beautiful, beautiful broadcast. It's a Wednesday night, so we're going to enjoy the hump day and, enjoy this conversation, of course. I have my man online with me, Black Order Podcast, the Black Pill. Thank you for joining me, my brother. Let's have this
Chop it up.
conversation. Yeah. So there's been a lot of things going on, man. I've been learning a whole lot. Just really, engaging a lot of different people and listening and
Right.
creating. Good. Doing some interviews. And dropping my own single type of conversations. So, but
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if you see the title, but I mean, I don't
Yeah.
know if I brought this to your attention or you brought it to mine, or if we just like saw it. But so people see in the titles, and I titled this "Do for Self Philosophy." Uh, King Randall versus Roland Martin versus Dr. Boyce Watkins. Um, so let me. So first, were you aware of this King Randall person
I've been aware
before? I
of them,
mean,
but like watching them as much. But I've been aware. I've seen him pop up like two or three times before in the past. Because in the past, I seen him. He was interviewed by, I think it was Ben X or one of the guys from the Nation. I seen him being interviewed. He was talking about,
hmm
what I'm saying, digital money or digital real estate. And that was a good minute ago. That was like I don't know, 6 months or a year or 2 years ago. Yeah. And he popped up a couple of times, always talking about finances, but that was it. But I didn't know him too much till he had this
okay,
meeting interview with Roly Poly. That's when I seen where he it was this thing about doing for self that people had took, didn't the understanding doing for self what it really mean and what's really about having action of getting things done. I've seen people make so many
right.
videos of it.
So
It's like,
first time, let me.
yeah,
Yeah. So first time I saw it. I mean, I rarely watch to a whole lot of Vicky Dillard. She's just a little
yeah,
extra sometimes and theatrical, and she doesn't get to her points. But I think I
right,
saw the title maybe, and I, I I peeped about a little bit of it. And generally, as I'm listening to individuals, I would scroll down, right, and
right,
I mean, somebody's saying do for self. I mean, it's nothing new, so I didn't think anything of it. But
right.
apparently, Vicky Dillard was expressing outrage at Roland Martin for allegedly calling the young man an idiot. So, I mean,
It's
now,
crazy.
yeah. So, I
Yeah.
mean, but interestingly, and generally speaking, I was like, that don't sound right, for Roland Martin to do that. I mean, I'm sorry, I mean, I couldn't imagine him like just dissing a young man for saying that. So I wanted to know, for
What
instance,
really
what is
happened?
the context, of course, of that
Right.
conversation, right? So I'll let you open. I actually have the clip here, and I'm gonna play a little bit of it. So, but
Yeah, go
just
ahead.
open up, and no, you can say what you saw first, and then I'll play the clip so other people can know
I
exactly
know when
what
I
we're
saw.
talking
You want me
about
to do
it.
it now? Or wait after the clip.
Well, hold on, because I got to get it ready and make sure
Okay. Yeah, I'll wait
I
till after
shoot.
the
That's
clip.
what I want to do. All right, but so yeah, let me get my thing up so I can
Yeah, Roly
see it.
Poly was kind of Roly Poly. Was being kind of moody, and usually like how he usually is. He's always acting like he's a judge and executioner when he's talking to somebody in the interview. So
Okay. Right. All right. So let me see here. Let me make sure I get this up right. I've been having some little troubles as I let me figure this out. Share screen. Okay, now let me click that and let me go into it first. Okay, there we go. All right. Now let me okay, I think people can see my screen. Let me click that. Let me see. Let me look on my phone to make sure I got it right. So, okay, I still see you. So let me I don't know if I can hear it, but let me do, 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 do. Shoot. Mm-hmm. Okay. All right, I think it is up now, but let me oh, that's what I gotta click. Full screen. Yeah, there we go. Oh, like that. There we go. Full screen. Escape the extra full screen. I don't know if that's the right one. That might be our screen, but trying to learn this, brother. All right. Well, that's not the full screen, but let me. Oh man. Man, what am I doing now?
Yeah, that's kind of neat.
Let me just stop it first. Hold up. Well, most people can. I can do the audio first. Let me see.
Okay.
I can do the audio and people can hear it, and I'll try to get it together as well. I'll put it on silent so I could. All right, we can hear it. Let me turn it up first, and let me know if you can hear it. Can you hear it?
Yeah, I ain't hear nothing yet.
All right, let me try some. You can't hear it?
Nah, I can't hear it. It's probably on your end only.
Oh man, damn it! Wow, what am I doing wrong? You still can't hear, Ace?
Nah, I hear
You
you
still can't
only, but
hear?
I can't hear enough. I only hear you.
Hmm. Darn it. Okay. Let me see something. Let me try something. Ah. Okay. All right. Maybe I need my Okay, that's it. Well, that we'll do that one. So you can't hear it at all.
Nah, you can't hear it on this end. You could just hear you.
Ah, man, darn. I thought you could hear it if I did it like that. Maybe I should have took my headphones off and let
Okay,
it.
I hear that
Yeah.
now. Turn that
Okay.
up.
Okay. Wait a minute. Can you hear?
Whatever that just was, I heard.
Oh, I can't put it that close to it.
I hear him talking, but it's not loud now.
Ah. Well, I probably just try to summarize it.
Okay.
Damn, what am I? So I need to learn how to do that. All right. Okay. Well.
I mean, you can always just sum it up this time. Then we can play with it and figure it out later what
All
happened.
right. All right. Let's see. Let me turn this off. Let me pause it.
Okay.
Stop screen sharing. All right. I'll stop screen sharing. That's what I need to do. Stop it. So basically, so what? I mean, and I mean, in a generalized statement or comment about doing for self and getting out here doing things for the youth. I mean, that all sounds right and exact, right? I mean,
Right.
we generally agree, and I think that's where Vicky Dillard was was building on, and that's what she actually had in her understanding. But
Right.
so just add on. I mean, I know you saw the clip, right? So
Well,
just add on. I wanted to play
they
it
was
for everybody
challenging
else,
him.
but
I
I'll
mean,
put it on in
Roly,
a link as well.
yeah, Roly Poly was challenging him, and other people was upset. Even when some of Roly Poly's listeners flipped on him, for getting on him in the wrong context and the way he his tone and the way he, you know, doing for self. You know, Elijah Muhammad and many other great scholars just gave that wisdom because it's independence and separating yourself and doing your own thing. Um,
Mm-hmm.
the school thing, people was really shocked about and they was inspired about it, but a lot of people also too was shocked that his daddy is an FBI agent. Now, the thing
Mm-hmm.
was people was really taken serious because
So King
Tyreek,
Randall's father
yeah,
is the FBI agent, right? Yeah.
yes, yeah.
Okay.
So
Okay.
people were shocked about that, but then people didn't understand where Tyreek was coming from when he said it, because Tyreek is a little straight up front, blunt person, and I don't understand why
Mm-hmm.
people took it personal because Tyreek said, I don't know who the guy was he executed the Black Panther, but he was saying he had a good point. You know, a lot of people has did some things for self, but that doesn't mean their agenda was always about building the family up or the black family or
Mm-hmm.
whatever, etc. Um, but people gotta understand, Tyreek is basically saying that anybody who's in the FBI, they can't be trusted. That's what he's saying because right now it might be a school, it might be a positive motive, but in the future it could be something dangerous.
Mm.
So that's how Tyreek was looking at it from a strategy standpoint. Well, most people got upset at him and got mad. So
Most people
you
got
saw a
upset
lot of
before.
millions start making little click videos about Tyreek talking about he was a hater, and I'm like, Tyreek ain't never hated on. Tyreek had no
You
reason to
said
hate on this man.
hate on who? Kendall? I mean, Randall, this
Randy.
King guy.
Mhm. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. Oh man, it was like 40 videos hating on Tyreek talking about. I'm like, this guy is the king of, what I'm saying, bringing the message to people on
Oh,
all
that's
day
all
fighting white supremacy all day on Twitter, on Instagram. So he has no reason to hate on nobody.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Okay. All right. I was trying to put this picture up. So basically, oh no, that ain't working. Um.
Basically, they was trying to hate. They was trying to say that the old heads in the community that's enlightened are hating on the younger cats in the community. And then they brought
Wow.
Umar Johnson involved with it too.
So yeah. So what was that about? Was that suggesting that hey, well, he didn't.
Well, young King
Oh, that's
Randall
how we're
made a
supposed to
school in
do it.
10 years. He did it in a couple of months that it took in Umar Johnson and did it in 10 years. So they're like, well, we might as well just go with this right here because we've been waiting. Donations been coming and nothing has been results into no solution. So
Right.
the people are like, King Randall, is getting momentum because they feel like he will be, what Umar Johnson should have been. Um,
Mm-hmm.
so that I saw a lot of them videos too. And then I saw a lot of
Okay.
ADOS. Now the thing is, some of the people I couldn't take they serious that was going after Tyreek because some of the people who went after Tyreek was ADOS type people.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So I
So.
can't I can't I can't take them serious with the ADOS because they was claiming that he tried to steal that. Look, no one can steal nothing. Knowledge is infinity.
Right.
Whatever you create and you make, that's what it's all about. First of all, Tyreek came nicely and politely trying to work with the ADOS at the first time before they went left and started being agreeable to the BS. And he
Mm-hmm.
just said, I'm just gonna create my own thing, and that's what you're supposed to do. So he didn't
Right.
copy off nobody. You know, Foundation Black Americans, he just said, hey, that's what it is. This is what it's gonna be. And so that's what's been created. Um,
Right.
So you had a lot of videos that was going after that and creating that, and
Nah, I
they was
didn't
just
know
they had,
that there was a few of them
oh
out there.
man,
Like,
look, some of
oh
these
wow,
men, ADOS was going in trying to
wow. Let me look
put
some of that up.
conflict
Yeah.
between King Randall was better than Tyreek and Umar, and then they try to clickbait it with they say sooner or later, soon as Kevin Samuels grew up in the conscious community, then Tyreek is gonna have a beef with him. And I was just like, no, you guys need to stop. First of all, if anything, Kevin Samuels is taking clickbait from Tyreek's book called, The Mac with Within, and all his books. You know what I'm saying? Player be
Okay.
played. Okay?
All
So
right. Hey,
yeah.
wait a minute. So I see a few things. Tariq Nasheed calls out King Randall. King Randall, Tariq Nasheed attacks 21-year-old.
You see?
Tariq Nasheed's views on King Randall. Tariq Nasheed exposed beefs with young something. Exposed King Randall's. Tariq Nasheed FBA drags King Randall. All right, so let me, I wanted to add just a little bit to this,
That's
and
messed up, man. Yeah.
one thing that we have to be aware uh, under this global system, I mean, dependent upon who you are, there's punishments and there's rewards,
Of
right?
course. Right.
And different people get various like resources for different things, right? I mean,
Right.
understandably, look at the history. We understand that many individuals who more so appease uh, the slave masters, or they were the ones that actually uh, got the butter biscuits, if you will, right?
Of course.
Now, and with that being said, without me, knowing that much about him, but I did see on the Vicky Dillard's post. I mean, and I, one of the commenters. I mean, they didn't clap back at her, but they said, "Well, he says things about police and black people uh, that's killed by the cops, and he said that they should be killed, or something to that effect." I didn't see the exact quote.
Right.
So I saw that first, right? And I was like, okay, let me dissect this. And then a little later, because I didn't, like pick up the story that much. I mean, somebody on Roland Martin and Roland beefing with him. So, I mean, and first I heard him say something about do for self. And I was like, okay, well, maybe, and then I saw Ricky. I don't know which one I saw first. But then I heard Tariq say
Yeah.
something else about what did he say? Well, he said about the FBI agent thing, and and so I started pointing. It's kind of like you kind of putting pieces together there. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, okay, where is this going? If that part is true, what the guy said, about him, what he says about police, and and everything can be contextual as
Right.
well. In the context of police, what they do and how they respond, to different things. So not every case is the same. You got some people out here doing some crazy stuff. You
Of
robbing
course.
banks and shooting at police. It's like, I mean, you hit me. I mean, you know what I'm saying? I mean, it's kind
Right.
of like, all right, it's going to be
And
some
he getting
drama
interviewed by a
if
lot of
you get.
people too.
Yeah, I know, and so that's where I'm getting at. That's where I'm going because, and yeah, and that's where I'm going because I saw, I mean, I don't know what page I was at. I
Man,
don't
he
think
got
it
a
was.
lot of
It was.
interviews.
Yeah, I don't know if it was his LinkedIn or whatever, but I saw that he was down at the CPAC conference. For many who may not know, the CPAC is the coalition of conservative. I'm sorry, no, it's the Conservative Political Action Committee. Now, for those who may not know, and I was just,
Right.
debating somebody in this Maryland political group. I
Right.
said, why was young Pharoah banned
Oh
from
yeah, yeah.
this CPAC conference? Right. So this guy was kind of, I just stopped talking to him. I'm like, he doesn't understand what I was saying, but it's like, okay,
Right.
if you're scared to talk about certain things, if you don't want to say this so-called cancel conference, right? Where that, because that was the name of they were talking about cancel culture, but
Yeah. They was
uh,
trying to block the young Pharaoh with that.
right, right. So, but they canceled someone, and that was interesting. That was the theme, was
Right.
stopping canceling cancel culture. So I'm like, so this young man, this King Randall, is down there with many Kim Klacik and
Powerful
all
people.
type of Trump supporters, and
Right.
so
What
I'm
was he
just
really
like,
doing?
say again.
I say it make you wonder what was he really doing?
Well, I mean, it's really fascinating. So what people these people are saying, for instance, I mean, like, because what's happening there is, some people, are economically, they don't necessarily need things from the government, right? They don't
Right.
need, but it's really interesting because I thought deeply about this, how,
Right.
these labels of socialists, and I mean, because it's really, I mean, every society has a socialistic component to it, if you think about it. If you think about,
Right.
like, who does the trash, that's like communal. Like, I mean, who does the roads, who does the infrastructure, and like defense, and so there are these debates going on, like what the Constitution is supposed to provide, like what the Bill of Rights and things of this nature, and how government is supposed to work. So this is part of this ideological debate. But my
Right.
thing is, let's not confuse, for instance, Elijah Muhammad's do for self understandings and what King Randall's talking about, because
Right.
the nation do for self understanding, and I don't know if Vicky Dillon, is actually conceptualizing these things. That doesn't mean doing for self and taking your money and attending the CPAC conference with 10,000 Europeans, huh?
Of course.
So let's just be real. It don't mean spending all your money, and I'm sure this young man, he not talking about, yeah, let's get these black businesses and get these black banks, and I mean, it's going to be hard for these conservatives to get their butter biscuits if
Right.
they are talking too much black stuff. If
Of
if
course.
they if it begins to affect certain corporations, if they taking dollars out of different businesses, because right now these individuals, they are, what, they're still like a petty bourgeoisie. This is what E. Franklin Frazier, he wrote this book called The Black Bourgeoisie, and he was a
Oh
former
yeah.
How yeah, he was a Howard professor. Um, some years ago, he had a critique of the middle class in general, and so what some people, and what I see, it's like two birds of the same stone on some level, with the Roland Martins and this guy, on some levels. Ultimately, many of these people still are thinking, as like a part of America. You see what I'm saying? I mean,
Yeah.
you dig? So I mean, they have their conceptualization and their framework of freedom based upon, staying in America. And that's
Right.
that's where, and me and you mentioned, and you can just add on. I'll pause. Like, so, and I didn't hear the Boyce Watkins interview later that this young man did with him. But what did you see that yet? Or
No, I ain't seen that one yet. You know how I
okay.
feel about Ninja Turtle, but I'm gonna check it out though.
Yeah, so I guess that was after the Roland Martin piece. I
Yeah.
mean, so I mean, I'm just going to theorize how it went, right? I mean, we can kind of put people in little boxes because here's where I am. It's like, as I hear people, I mean, talk about, and the young man during Roland Martin's show said, well, we don't need to spend too much time talking about voting. I mean, I guess, and not to say that, voting does matter or doesn't, but
Matter. Right.
I think it's there's no way to describe, whether it's, what I'm saying. It's like, because, ultimately some people benefit, and this is what I want to mention about that, because, like, for instance, Boyce Watkins, when he talk about black wealth, and black billionaires and millionaires, and people who making tens of millions of dollars or something. I mean, there were some people, however you want to feel about Bob Johnson. Bob Johnson, I read his book. I read his, it called the Big BT Deal or something. The Big Deal. I don't know. It's a purple book, and I
Right.
know Jason Black has read that book because the publisher or who wrote that book for Bob Johnson was in the film 7 a.m. His name is Pulley. Yeah, so he was in the film 7 a.m. with Don Peebles. So
Okay.
I know
Right.
that, Jason, understood some of those dynamics, with understanding that Bob Johnson actually with BT, he got there through, some political maneuvering through
Right.
some of the Black Caucus, and was able to get a hold of some FCC contracts. And I'm kind of paraphrasing off the top of my head, but I know that and he had an investor. I mean, a white rich white man that was tied to maybe one of the other big, conglomerate corporations, but ultimately it was partially through some of the Black Caucus members. Now,
Right.
another point that I'll make, and that even some of the things that Claude Anderson says, like high in his books, that I don't know if people like really take the time to to dissect, but um, even for instance, Kathy Hughes, many people may not know it was some pressure on like the Maryland governor
Right.
to push and got her. I believe it was like a $25,000 grant, and she needed the money. Like if you know her story, she was like living in her studio for like some years. So
Right.
I just mention those stories just to say that you can't like say that there's nothing to it. I mean, although it may not be nothing for the masses, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
But, when you talk about black wealth and, and even dealing with these, contracts all the way up to the 8A contract on a federal level. I mean,
Yeah.
I happen to know that history because some years ago, there was Clarence the Mitchell family in the Baltimore area, and they, kind of lied. It may be some little butter biscuits, but it was some crumbs. You know what I'm saying? Possibly, but they
Right.
lobbied for this what's called the 8A program, which is the federal um, uh, the federal set asides for I don't know if it might have been called minorities or whatever, but and that go back to lawyer Charles Hamilton Houston that was up at Howard, a legal scholar that worked. He wrote the book with Stokely Carmichael,
Right.
some years ago. So I just mentioned some of those things. I know I've been kind of talking, but I just wanted to say that, put it out there, because some people may not have some of that history to contextualize, because again, we got these different ideas. Some people will take what he's saying and say, well, I don't have to vote, I just need to go and start a school or something. You know what I'm saying? But
Right.
ultimately, and then you have some, like leaders that's like, well, hell, there's a lot of dollars that can go back in our community from you know employees, people that got government jobs. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that could also
Yeah.
be part of the discussion, as
Well, you
well.
know, the
So,
generation now, they tired of waiting. So people want instant results.
mm,
So I guess when you see a situation like Umar and the time he has played with people's time and money, people are like they need things done now because people know that won't. Like in the pandemic, for example, where King Randall got momentum at, it's in certain states that's closed up. It have been less attacks in schools because most black children are not in school. They're
mm,
working from home. But what's going to happen to go back to school? There's going to be a lot of problems with teachers, phone calls, homes, prejudice, situations. So most people were expecting that Umar by now would have had 6 or 7 schools put together. Much
mm,
as money that he raised, much as money people offer buildings, people offer that. So people are participating on someone like King Randall because they really don't want to send their kids to public schools anymore. They really want to send kids to our own institutions of schools and teach us what we need for our own thought and how to process what we're dealing with. You know what I'm saying?
mm,
So the King
right.
Randall situation will be good. And hopefully it'll be a lot of more solutions out of or peace about it instead of the drama. Because hey, look, I believe hidden colors and buck breaking should be a curriculum.
Mm,
You know what I'm saying?
right.
Um, I believe 7 a.m. should be a curriculum. Matter of fact,
Mm-hmm.
peace out to Jason Black too and Tyreek. And your scholar program, I think that should be a curriculum. Um,
Right.
because a lot of things we're dealing with right now, we at war on
Mm-hmm.
many occasions, and it's different wars and different fights. So it's very important that self preserving, self educated, or do for self is used in the proper way. Because when you ever go to the old Final Call newspaper, you always have a picture of Elijah Muhammad sitting in there, and it always say "do for self." And he
Mm-hmm.
always used the Asiatic black man, cream of the earth, to do for self and grow his own food and reproduce for himself, be a producer. That's be the most coolest thing I hit it, and the nation used to always say. So King Randall used that quote, but like like we said, it's applied the right way and to get things done. And maybe some people had now this is the thing. I agree with Tyreek where when it comes to reparation situations, people don't need to speak on it if they don't know what to talk about on it or say something about it.
Mm-hmm. Right.
I believe Martin Luther King said, and Tyreek, cut the check, and Jason Black, cut the check, because we owe
Mm-hmm.
reparations, and we deserve that, and we need that, and we need it now. And every other group got their cut of the pie. The South Foundation, Black Americans, we made every patent in America and built this country to make it powerful for what it is. We has helped this country beat many wars, and some of the greatest minds in engineering has helped this country be successful. So we deserve ours. You know what I'm saying? We see that in through DC. We see that through all over. But
Mm-hmm.
King Randall should just stick to doing for self building a school, and like if because I know it was something he said out of context, but Tyreek had said something about uh, the King Randall situation, but I don't know what was because of the reparation. Like, because I don't know, he was saying do for self. Oh yeah, waiting around. I think it was waiting around to get
All right.
politicians to do what we need for reparations. Well, look, that'll all come when more people be on code and people do what they supposed to do and play their role,
Mm-hmm.
and
Mm-hmm.
not let tethers or let non-FDA get involved or have a statement or a say so. Because coons are always in the way everywhere. Anywhere you look is always a coon.
Mm-hmm.
We do have Foundation Black American coons, and we do have the worst coons. I call them a level two. I call them the certified super coons. Is the immigrant
Mm-hmm.
coons.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Because the immigrant coons are more dangerous than the Foundation of Black American coons. Because most of the immigrant coons sit in Senate in the Senate. Most of them are lobbyists. Most of them sit in power, like to near Congress. Most of them are your local people who are dealing with the mayor or the government, and they're usually from West Indies or certain parts of Nigeria or Uganda.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I don't know what it is with that, but it's always usually them. So I understand where he's coming from. Um, and
So, wait a minute.
more.
So King Randall, is he from the U.S.?
I don't know. I don't know. I haven't looked into his background, where he's
Okay.
from.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I didn't go that far to research on him. I was just concerned looking at what Tyreek was saying, because Tyreek is a person who Tyreek think like how they think. The reason why Tyreek got wisdom, well, with white supremacy, because to understand the white supremacists, you gotta nearly think like them and how they think ahead of the time or far down the timeline.
Mm-hmm.
So he looking at it as, well, look, if he built a school, his dad used to do, his dad do this. How you not know his dad won't make a deal with her for a paycheck and set a whole bunch of folks up,
Mm.
like the Fred Hampton case?
Mm-hmm.
No, because
Yeah.
end of the day, a coon gonna say, "Well, it's my job." And see, we seen that happen just recently with the Malcolm X situation with him being assassinated. It was coons that was harming Malcolm X, the honorable Malcolm X, and was setting them up.
Mm-hmm.
And that's just now coming out.
Right.
And we always had people, that look like your own trying to, you know, undermine people who was trying to be successful. So that's what Tyreek is trying to say, that most people took out of context and got in their emotions and just went all over the place attacking him, calling him a hater. Um, Unfortunately, it is what it is. People better know this. This is one thing I like to say. I know we can't be gonna be on here long. If it wasn't for Tyreek going in every day, doing the broadcast and stimulating people to think, we wouldn't have what we would have in the community. Peace out to the community 300 too on Facebook. We wouldn't have the movement of the hidden color energy and all the Twitter. Every day I see him every day put his life at risk with his family and children to go against, race baiters and people who talk slick. And he has proved one thing to me, that when you control the narrative of the news and the media, you start running and owning of what they say and what they come up with. Just like he proved their racial Asian attacks. Everybody who did the racial Asian attacks was wearing a pink shirt or a pink hoodie, and it looked like it was a lot of fabrication with push, agendas. He's
Mm.
always figured out something. And he predicted that they was going to deputize Asians. He predicted that they was going to come with some new rules, where if you touch an Asian person, it's a felony, to provoke one of
Mm.
us to have a conflict, because they need the hoppers or the Asians to jump on their side, because they know they need to get themselves off the narrative. See, this
Mm.
month is very a secure month. This month is between March and April. Is the liberation of white supremacy on all levels, because every year is when we have um, a lot of white supremacists go out and randomly shoot people or hurt people or harm people, from the Columbine
Mm-hmm.
High to many situations to Florida to Colorado. So if you look at the pattern for the last 10 years, from Timothy McVeigh, everything has started from March to April, because Hitler's birthday. And
Mm.
a lot of the racial Satanism agendas are done between the end of March to April. So this is the most dangerous primal month. And so a lot of times this is when we see a lot of like people, doing stuff crazy. If you just look back and just Google the research, you'll find that it's March always into April. It's some little ritual there. And so
Mm.
people need to be aware of that, why we have a massacre always between the end of March into April. You know,
Mm.
something to pay attention to. But hey, we all in here to enlighten each other and put each other on what we need to do and how to be prepared and how to pay attention. King Randall is going to get questioned and he should get critiqued because today
Mm-hmm.
his dad is an FBI agent, and when we
Mm-hmm.
do research in history, most FBI people had a hand into undermining, what I'm saying, true blackness in society. To
Right.
Fred Hampton case, to Elijah Muhammad, what I'm saying, to Malcolm X, to Marcus Garvey. There was
Right.
an FBI person that was harming Marcus Garvey.
Yeah.
You know,
And that's the interesting thing. I mean, just okay. So let's dissect that. So I mean, of course, people are offering critiques of Umar, but one thing that I said somewhere, I don't know where, but I said, well, I mean, all education and all black male mentors and schools are created equal, right? I
yeah,
mean, like, I mean, there's a lot of Catholic schools out here. I mean, let's just be real, about what, some of these places are doing,
yeah,
to young black people, kind of turning them out and making them into little Nas X's and all kind of other little freaky, little perverts or whatever. But
oh man, that's yeah,
yeah, but and that's what I mean. Just going back to my
yeah,
point that you know you can't like look and say, oh, and not that I'm taking up for Umar or anything, but it's like you can't look and say they doing the same thing, or like that. Oh, this person got a school. Where's Umar's school? That's not even. That don't make sense. Like you got to look at the internal. This kid is 21 years old. I mean, like he's not. He
right,
hasn't studied. Like I mean, he's not like revolutionary in the context of a threat like to the racial status quo in America. Even if he was on some Reginald F. Lewis type of
right,
stuff, like many people believe that Reginald F. Lewis was
right.
was assassinated. I can't speak on it. He died fairly young, very young, 50ish, something like that. Yeah, but you can't make these
Yeah.
comparisons when somebody is teaching how to be a good Negro. You know what I'm saying?
Of
Like you
course,
can't. I
man.
mean, and obviously, I mean, yeah. I mean, we got to teach hard work or whatever, and some other things. Some other things are general principles that I would hope that we teaching in these schools, but
Yeah,
ultimately Elijah Muhammad didn't just say do for self, he talk about knowing yourself, having knowledge of self as well. So
all day.
you can't like take one part, and I don't know. But then did you say that this young man was kind of rolling with Ben X and uh, you
Yeah,
know,
so you got videos of him and pictures where he's with Ben X and he's with 19 Keys.
Okay.
Yeah. So
So
his
19 Keys
situation and friendship
is
been with
sort
both
of
of
like
them.
he's in the nation, right?
Who? Ben X or 19
19
Keys?
Keys, right?
Yeah, yeah. They Ben X and 19 Keys are like best friends. They in the nation.
Okay. Well, it's interesting. I mean, and you know what's interesting? I mean, it's gonna. I mean, and not that that's like a, you know, like a pass. I mean, you don't get like you don't get like no card to say, oh, this is,
Yeah.
you know, like that means something. I mean, for those who have been around a little bit, not to, you know, I used to sort of, you know, believe that, you know, that was
Yeah.
a standard of good character or a standard of, you know, liberation, or you can trust them, or you know what I'm saying. Not that I'm labeling everybody per se, but you know, I mean, they just like anybody else. I mean, you know what I'm saying. And ultimately, I'd say on a most of them are just followers
Oh, of
anyway. You
course.
know what I'm saying. I mean,
You know how that
they
is.
85ers. You know what I'm saying. They straight
Right.
85ers with a little bit of knowledge,
A
and
little bit
they,
of knowledge.
yeah, yeah. I
Rest in
mean, and but
bullets.
I mean, and that's, you know, one time, I, many people may not remember, you know Dr. Naeem Akbar, but
Right.
one time, I don't know if I don't know if it was live when I saw him. I used to go see him a few times, but one time he said, "Man, I mean, and I guess he was in the nation at one time under war, you know, after, you know, their resurrection, after Elijah Muhammad died, and the son
Yeah.
took over, and he wanted to go towards Orthodox. So, and I believe that that's where Naim Akbar, you know, was partially, you know, prominent black
Yeah.
psychologist, wrote several books, but he once said, "Man, you shouldn't be selling no bean pies for no 20 something years." You know what I'm saying? Why are you
Of
still
course.
standing on the corner after 20 something years selling bean pies? And final calls. I mean, and you know, it just made me just be like, yeah, that's like real, you know.
Yeah, it
But
is.
and this, I can put that in the context of this whole conversation, because what this young man, he had a privilege, you know, like bourgeoisie lifestyle, right? So
Right.
he's not from the streets. He don't understand, you know, like for real, like black culture, you know,
Right.
you know. So I don't give a damn how many Ben X's he, you know, if he's kind of in that circle. But like
Yeah, they all
your
in the circle
daddy,
with each other. And if you go look on 19 Keys, Ben X, 19 Keys, they hang with Rizal Islam. So they all in the circle together. So I don't know how this might play out. I don't know. It's a lot.
right?
The
Yeah.
best people that would know is coming from him or asking him in person, but he's with that circle, so it makes you wonder.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
Yeah. I mean, and that's the thing. It's like your father couldn't have taught you some of this stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like, he couldn't have taught you like anything about Elijah Muhammad. Like, for real.
Right.
Like, you know, in some of the you know, so that's why I'm just looking like side eyed, like how this is gonna work. And then, you know, this guy's running up with CPAC, right? You know what I'm
Hey,
saying? Up at the CPAC with crazy Kim Klasick from the Baltimore area. So I'm just like, man, this is you know,
it's
politics and
interesting.
economics make strange bedfellows. But you know, I'm like, this is some, you
See,
know,
we're
deep.
looking at it from a long before I go. Look, we're looking at it from a
Yeah.
long standpoint. What's the CPAC and then them and the circle and what's really going on.
Right.
I mean, we're supposed to question stuff with analysis. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
it's
Yeah.
important
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
that's how
Yeah.
you get duped. And then you'll be, you know what I'm saying? Then you'll be like, I forgot Tyreek, Scam Master J. So it's important to pay attention. You know, then you'll have this is how frauds come amongst the community because people don't
Right.
want to get too excited about hype, you know, and then
Mm.
they don't really know what's going on. But I don't know, something to pay attention to. But we need to like expand on that and see what happens in the next couple of days and see what takes place because it's a lot of people making videos like it's been well, I seen like 40 videos in the last couple of 5 hours.
Wow.
Yeah. So I don't know how
Wow.
this is gonna play out. So I'm pretty sure Tyreek is gonna respond and he knows. Tyreek, one thing about Tyreek, I love it. He pays attention to everything or he knows or he is aware. Him and Jason Black. And Jason Black is like the ninja. He pays attention and he might not speak on it till he's ready to go in on you. So
Right.
that them
Right.
two
Right.
really are informed and more than what people think.
Right.
Um,
Right. Right.
yeah, I know I gotta end this segment soon, but yeah, man, it's interesting.
Yeah, no, no, man, it's all good. So, yeah, man, but I appreciate you, just having this build with us, and we'll do something again next week,
Oh man, look, we can do something every week, man. I'm all open to it, bro. I'm down
All
with
right,
it, man.
for sure, for sure.
For
So,
sure,
yeah,
man.
so I
Anytime, God.
got some
Hey, it's
topics.
all love, God. I appreciate you bringing me on the show, God.
All right. So let's do it again real soon, brother. So we'll talk and enjoy your evening, brother. Peace
You
and
too,
blessings,
man.
brother.
Peace, man.
All right, peace, enjoy,
Peace.
peace. All right, everybody. That was my brother, the uh, brother Ace with the Black Pill podcast. Uh, Definitely enjoyed this conversation. So definitely check me out on my Instagram, Success Scholar. I post a lot of great pictures of books, and lots of quotes and things of that nature. And of course, you can subscribe, like, and share this video if you thought that I said something a little relevant there for your development and growth and your strategic insights and empowerment. So, all right, we are out. Peace and blessings.